Hello, my name's Jade and today we're going to be talking about Through the Dark by Alexandra Bracken. This is a collection of all the novellas that go along with the Darkest Mind series. We have In Time, Sparks Rise and Beyond the Night. If for whatever reason you still have yet to pick up the Darkest Minds, I've said it like a bajillion times now, pick it up. In terms of chronological order, In Time comes in between Darkest Minds and Never Fade, and then Sparks Rise comes in between Never Fade and In the Afterlight, and then Beyond the Night happens after In the Afterlight. It's kind of like a sequel to Sparks Rise as well. It follows some of the same characters. They're not like absolutely essential to the plot. You can go without having read them, but these are the kind of novellas that you're gonna want to read. So good. I ended every single one in tears. In Time, you need to read that before In the Afterlight. You will get spoiled if you do not read that before In the Afterlight. I read all three of these after having read In the Afterlight, so I didn't get the emotional experience like I wanted to, and you get spoiled for In Time in the Afterlight. In the Afterlight. To summarize, make sure you've read In Time and Sparks Rise before you read In the Afterlight. After the Darkest Minds, before In the Afterlight, and then read Beyond the Night after In the Afterlight. That's the way you should do it. All three of them are really, really good. In Time's kind of like okay. Like I said, I was spoiled for it during In the Afterlight, so I didn't, you know, I cried, but not intensely. Sparks Rise is just fantastic. I got so attached. Beyond the Night is just, it gives you a very wholesome feeling. The Afterlight is not the end. You're gonna want to pick up Beyond the Night to see what happens to the world and stuff. If you read any one of these, Beyond the Night, trust me, I can't say why you're gonna want to read it, but you're really gonna want to read it. I'm gonna go in order, and I'm gonna leave times below when I'm gonna talk about each one. So if you've read like one, so you can go to the one that you want to if you don't want to be spoiled for the others. Singularly, I think I would give 7 for In Time, Beyond the Night 8, and we'll say Sparks Rise a 9.5. Sparks Rise is probably my favourite just because of the amount that it impacted me, whereas Beyond the Night is kind of longer and slower. It's a little bit darker in some ways. Yeah, okay, I'm talking about In Time now. If you have yet to read In Time, please leave. I'm going to I'll put the times when I talk about Sparks Rise and Beyond the Night down below. In Time is the story of Zoo. I knew that going into it. I knew that it was about Zoo and the guy. And as I said, I had already read In the Afterlight, so I know that the guy dies. And that she got really upset about it. Still sad, and it was really nice to see their relationship build. I think it was very well done. Yeah, I don't know if I have anything else to say. That was so quick. I can't remember it very well. It was a long time ago. It's nice to like see what actually happens to Zoo when she's away from the others. I liked it. So now I'm going to talk about Sparks Rise. Sparks Rise, as I said, was my favourite. And it's the story of Sam and Lucas. We learn so much more about Reds in Sparks Rise and what they're doing to them, how they're kind of like taking away their memories and turning them into like robots. And Lucas still had his memories. I forgot about that. That guy, Sam, didn't he lock him in a cage or something and there was a snake? Am I remembering this correctly? He planned to escape and they came so close. And the tears when they were cool, and then Lucas gets his memory wiped and we go back and we see him get his memory wiped. A spark that fades to nothing at all. He's just talking about like how bad he's being treated, like the hunger, thirst, pain. Like he doesn't recognize her. Like he turns as I slow, he looks at me, through me. There's nothing, not even a flicker of life in his face. Beyond the Night. If you have yet to read Beyond the Night, please go away. I will be discussing this one now. This is the one that I have lots of notes on. We get introduced to the idea of blanks, and so these were the kids that didn't turn, but they were going to because they survived the disease, so they were going to turn into Psy, but they hadn't yet. And so some camps started rounding up blanks as well and waiting for them to turn within their care rather than just, you know, waiting. Which makes me think, is there a possibility that some kids just didn't turn, like they missed the virus? You would think by now there's some kids that just have missed the virus. We open up with Nia, and she had this monster metaphor that she used repeatedly, and it's kind of reminiscent of Ruby in the way she describes her powers as have like arms that get released. The position of the words thing, that was a nice detail to add in more character. Nia escaped in her camp, but it was really nice to see people escape. It was a very happy feeling. And then we learn more about the kids that are unclaimed. Like this whole concept is so unfair. The fact that kids where their parents don't want to look after them or can't be bothered to show up or whatever, people like Sam or kids whose parents are dead like Mia, they're left unclaimed and then they're forced into the surgery. I feel like there needs to be like some kind of psi police that will be able to control the people that do rebel. But like, not everyone's gonna rebel. But I felt so bad for the unclean kids, and when we're with Sam watching Mia and the guy talking to them, and there was a little boy. I thought we had a choice, one of the masks, the words trembling out only a little. Sam rescues Mia, and what does Mia do? She repays Sam by nearly killing them both. She like grabs the steering wheel or something. I'm not too fond of Mia, so I like Sam. Blue definitely seems the easiest to control. Like, green is a given, like you're just smart and stuff. Orange, yellow and reds are all really hard to control. They're all very unpredictable, and they have no say as to whether they will light a fire, whether they will have some kind of electrical surge, or like whether they will erase themselves from someone's memory. Did he get taken away? I was thinking that we were gonna have to find him somehow, and then it turns out that she has him. He's just still under this weird mind control thing, and she has to order him around. We see Sam think back to the escape, and I'm pretty sure it's like Vida and Liam. Did you not freak out when you read that? Sam has just told me what's happened, and Mia is really mad with Sam. She says, "Stop it, Mia!" And Sam has to order him to eat a sandwich so that he eats, and then she gets even more mad at Sam, and she's like, "All of this is all your fault. You've never tried to escape. He was like supposed to find me." And I just felt so bad for Sam. So we're now opened up with the problem of getting Lucas back. How could that happen? How could you get Lucas back? And I immediately thought like an orange, that they need an orange. Like, and it seems what happened is they took all like the good memories, they kind of did a PETA. They made the Reds associate those happy memories with pain. There's this black market for kids. Those people show up to try and take him away, and Lucas just kind of sets fire to the whole street. They're dangerous, they can go at the top of the pecking order. Whatever. It wasn't until after I read these novellas that I kind of accepted that Reds are in fact the most dangerous. And then they get cool, and it's just so frustrating. Cool by like the good guys, only they're not actually good guys because they're just going to put them into the system. Sam starts freaking out because she thinks they're taking her back to Thurmond, and I start freaking out because I think that's where we're going. It's not. They just kind of take them to some facility. And then that guy tells her to move the pen, and Sam's like, it's not fair, they've changed the rules. Like, will we get told off if she doesn't move the pen, or will she get told off if she does move the pen? And so what does Mia do? She throws it into the glass. I was so mad at her. What are you thinking? Well, she clearly isn't thinking. Everything is about to get oh so amazing. It's the electric purple hair that draws my eyes first, even before her fury type face. Right then and there, we know who it is. And she gets them out of there, and it's so exciting. I laugh at how pitiful we must look with our limps, but somehow it's perfect. Despite all our differences, Ruby and I have always been a pair. And then of course there's Liam, but it's not as glorious seeing Liam again because he's kind of worrying all the time. And Chubbs is equally worried. At one point they both shout no at the exact same time. Other than that, they get in the car and it's like just like the good old days. The Blackberry crew have assembled, and it's so exciting. Oh, and then we find out that the reason all this panic is that Ruby is being checked on because she's an orange and she's dangerous. And we find out that Vida is the one that's like fighting the Snatchers, and she's like really passionate against it, and she has her own little setup, and the Greens are helping her. So cool. We talked to Nico on the phone as well. It's really good to see Nico again. He redeemed himself in the Afterlight. In the Afterlight. Also, when Liam talks about the sass from Zoo, and Ruby's like, she was always sassy, you two just treated her like angels. I was also kind of frustrated how mad Mia gets at him because her brother's red and she thinks Liam's going against him, and he swerves over and pulls over and is like, listen. And then they're being followed by someone, and Liam's like, who wants this one? Vida smells like she's finally caught a fish. Oh buddy, Liam says, you picked the wrong car. Go to Mia's house and there's a lot of really emotional description. Go to the house and there's a lot of really like emotional description, and you can't help but feel bad for Mia and her situation. It must suck to be her. It's so funny because whenever Mia like refers to Chubbs, she calls him Charlie, and I keep being like, who's this Charlie guy? Oh, Chubbs. And then Liam and Mia have that really nice conversation, and it's really nice to see Liam again. And then of course we have the story, the monster, and it's like it mirrors what's actually happening. And then of course he wakes up and it's just wonderful. I would have kind of liked to see Sam's point of view when we saw Lucas wake up, because we were kind of there when we lost him, and like in Sparks Rising it'd be nice to be with her when we found him again. Me is more important, fine, but still. At this very beginning of Beyond the Night we have this like weird little passage, and it's like, you have to remember, find me. And at the time I was like, who the hell is this? And it comes full circle because it starts with like, you have to remember, and then the end is, I remember. It was Lucas. Passage is so beautiful. It's like everything I could want and more. It's like 4 pages long, but it's like, this is the end of the Darkest Minds. Like, this is actually it. It's nice that he talks about Greenwood and that comes full circle as well. It's really sad about the Reds and how, you know, there's a bunch of them buried and he doesn't want to tell them. We find out that they're fighting against it. They're saving the Reds. They're fighting against the procedure, and it just gives you hope. And at one point, I can't find it right now, he talks about how he's joined their group and how he's like has a new family. We will move forward as one, and in time rise like sparks beyond the night. This is it. This is the actual end. I don't feel so mad about it. Like at the end of In the Afterlight, I was really bitter that it was the end. I went through Never Fade and In the Afterlight back to back, and so I feel like I didn't have enough time with the character. It was just so emotional and beautiful, and I loved it. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you have a super morning, afternoon, evening / night. My name's Jade. I hope I'll see you again next time. Bye! I know, it's the most beautiful thing your eyes have ever seen, but it kind of wants to take center stage and put me in the dark. Rude!